Shoma Eish Zakwain Ben Yehuda. And as you're standing, I'm going to bring before you the teacher of the morning, even the leader of this congregation here, Beit D.C.B, Beit CHOKMAH BINAH, our beloved brother, Chief Prince Yeriel Ben Issachar. I pray that you will give your undivided attention and that the Most High God will give him the words that he needs. Hallelujah.
First and foremost, as always, giving respect and honor to the creator of heaven and earth, the God of our fathers, the God that brought us all here, that rose us up this morning, the one and the only God. And to him do we give thanks. And to my family here, I say Shalom. Shalom. It's been a minute since I've been up here, but it's always a hot spot. You know, you come up here, you have your notes, but as people said before me, sometimes they just look blurry, and your words don't even come out your mouth. But again, I thank the Most High, the creator of heaven and earth, for my life and all of y'all lives, for doing all the beautiful things that he does for us. And sometimes we overlook them, sometimes we take it for granted, but we can't take for granted what the Most High has blessed us with this beautiful Shabbat day. I had a great week this week, a memorable week. Went out with my family. We had a family reunion in Florida, and it was wonderful. It was beautiful, you know, and you get to see your family you haven't seen in a long time, you know, and you get to see brand new babies that just been born since the last time y'all had a family reunion, you know, and as I always say, we can't take those for granted, the family reunion, as with the unity Shabbats and all of those things, when we go and see our family, because sometimes, like you said, like I just said, you see brand new babies who you've never seen, and then there's people who was there last year that's not here this year. So we have to take advantage of that, you know, tell people who you love that you love them. You know, people you had a gripe with, even family members, you say, hey, let's take a walk. Let's talk this over. You know, we've been not speaking long enough. You know, let's just get this in the air. You know, and, you know, I came home after those 5 days, came home Thursday, and the Most High blessed me Friday with a memorial, with a birthday, 60 years around the sun. So I thank him for that. Everybody don't make it. You know, my family gave me a lot of beautiful gifts, took me on shopping sprees, you know. Yeah, that's got some great things, you know. And, you know, my son-in-law, you know, he usually hit me with good gifts. I mean, beautiful gifts, watches, fly shoes. But this year, him and Rivka gave me a present that just can't be beat. They gave me the gift of having another grandson on my birthday. Naviel and more. So if I forget any of the other 6 birthday, I can't forget his birthday. You know what I mean? I might have to share presents now, but that's okay. That's worth it. For sure, that's worth it. You know? And that's a beautiful thing, you know. And it just, you know, it makes me want to just, you know, do better, you know. You see your 7 grandkids, and he was number 7. That's a beautiful number. That's a beautiful number. It's a godly number. Yes, sir. So, yeah. So today we're going to get into a portion. We're going to Numbers 30. We're going to start at chapter 30, verse 2. And in this portion, we're going to read about some laws, some history, and how we disperse, you know, things, and and possessions. Whenever you're ready.
Numbers chapter 30, verse 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Moshe spoke unto the heads of the tribes of the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded. When a man vows a vow unto Yahweh, or swears an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all that proceeds out of his mouth.
What come out our mouth, we have to do it. That's why we can't use words lightly. You can't just say to somebody, yeah, I got you. You know, I'm gonna buy you that chain next week, or I'm gonna do this for you, because things come up. So, you know, if God will it, and you know everything is well, then perchance you'll get that. But we just can't use words willy-nilly, and especially when we come before the Most High. We can't make promises, and most of us do it. And our time of desperation, and our time of need, and our time of sorrow, you know, when you're in the hospital or you're locked up in prison, and you say, Most High, if you get me out of this, I'll do thus, and the third. But you have to be careful with what you promise him. Because as we're going to read in here, even if he don't take this out on you quickly, trust me, when you break a vow, you break a bond, you're going to get punished. So as with the Most High, as we should do with each other, don't just tell me anything, you know, just to get me rid of me, or, you know, when I'm down and out, you say, listen, man, I got you this paycheck. I got you $200. Not remembering that your car note was due, all this stuff was due. Now I'm sitting here looking for $200, and you got to come with me to, oh man, my bad. I don't want to hear my bad. But people do it. So these words, this is going to tell us that we shouldn't be that quick to vow a vow or a bond. Country.
Mm-hmm. Also, when a woman vows a vow unto Yahweh, and binding her soul with a bond, being in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow, or the bond wherewith she hath bound herself, and her father holds his peace at her, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she hath bound herself shall stand. But if her father disallows her in the day that he hears it, none of her vows or of her bonds with which she bound herself shall stand, and Yahweh will forgive her, because her father disallowed it.
Okay, so being in your father's house as a woman, as a young lady, when you vow a vow, and sometimes again, like I said, people just say stuff, you know, at the spur of the moment, or just on impulse. But if I'm here and I hear my daughter saying something, and I know she can't be able to do that, I know that there may come a time when she ain't gonna be able to perform the vow, and I come to her and I say, no, daughter, that's not happening. You can't do that because of this, that, and the third. You know, if you say, I'm going to the camp every Shabbat, but you get unclean, daughter. You know what I mean? So sometimes you ain't gonna be able to make it. So don't go promising and vowing that I'm going to camp every Shabbat. And from now on, certain things you can't vow. So you got to think it over in your mind. Even though the Most High hears your words and he reads your mind, think it over before you blot it out. Come she.
Verse 7. And if she be married to a husband, while her vows are upon her, or the clear utterance of her lips, wherewith she hath bound herself, and her husband hear it, whatsoever day it be that he hears it, and he holds his peace at her, then her vow shall stand, and her bond wherewith she hath bound herself shall stand. But if her husband disallows her in the day that he hears it, then he shall make her vows void, which is upon her, and the clear utterance of her lips wherewith she hath bound herself, and Yahweh will forgive her. But the vow of a widow,
Okay.
or the vow of her
Hold
that
on. All right. Now, in this part here, it's saying now she done went out, she got married. Now her husband hears a vow, or hears of a vow that she made in her father's house. And he said, now, maybe your Abba went for that one, but I'm not going for that vow. And the day that he hit, when it come to him, he said, no. You did it in the Abba house, but you can't do it here. And he disallows it, then it's disallowed. And then if he allows it, then it stands. But now you ask yourself, you say, well, why man? He vows a vow, and he have to just perform his vow. And a woman, she vow, and the male hear it, and the male say, nah, I just can't have my vow. He can have his vow. But as we learned a long time ago, or as we learned in the book of Genesis, if you go to Genesis chapter 3, I believe it's 16. Because there was a part when Adam was created, and then the Most High said it's not good that man should be alone, you know. So he made a helpmeet. So that being a helpmeet, that was like the yin and the yang, because, you know, the man might say one thing and the woman say, well, Adam, don't you think we should do it like this? Or, you know, you here to help out. Y'all was a couple. Y'all was a joint group. But then, Genesis.
3:16, right? Genesis chapter 3, verse 16.
I believe it's 3.
Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy pain. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy pain and thy travail. In pain shalt thou bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Okay, so in time, there was a serpent. He was, you know, he was a shiesty guy. So he talked Eve into going against what God had told her and Adam. So in doing that, the Most High made a decree that you'll have babies, but your husband shall rule over you. You know, and you'll say it again. What does it say?
And thy desire shall be unto thy husband.
And thy desire should be under that husband, and he should rule over you. Now, that don't mean with rigor. And as we always teach, you know, that don't mean that you second class, third class citizen. It just means that there had to be an order in the house. So the man, the woman, the children. So somebody had to have the last word. And since it was that, you know, the serpent got you to eat the fruit, the fruit, the Most High said, listen, now on, you got to listen to Adam. When Adam said, God said, don't eat of the tree, we ain't eating of the tree. And he got the last word. So that came with that. So therefore, now if your husband hear that you made a vow, and he don't think that you can perform it, he disallows it. On the other hand, he got to answer to God. Come shoot.
But the vow of a widow, or of her that is divorced, even everything wherewith she hath bound herself shall stand against her. And if a woman vowed in her husband's house a bond of her soul, again, and if a woman vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband hears it and holds his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound herself shall stand. But if her husband make them null and void in the day that he hears them, then whatsoever proceeds out of her lips, whether it were her vows or the bond of her soul, shall not stand. Her husband made it void, and Yehovah will forgive her.
All right, so now your husband, he hears your vow and all of that, and he lets it stand. Now when he passes, or y'all get a divorce, you responsible for that vow, or any next vows that you do, because you without a man right now. So any vow that you get yourself into, you got to answer to God for that. Come shoot.
Every vow and every binding oath to afflict herself, her husband may let it stand, or her husband may make it void. But if her husband altogether holds his peace at her from day to day, then he calls all her vows to stand, or all her bonds which she hath placed upon herself hath he let stand, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them. But if he shall make them null and void after that he had heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity. These are the statutes which Yehovah commanded Moshe between a man and his wife, between a father and his daughter, being in her youth in her father's house.
Okay, this is the things that the Most High has said to us. If we vow or make a bond, being in your father's house or with your husband, if he lets it stand, it stand. Okay, go to Ecclesiastes. Chapter 5.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Child? Now?
Chapter 5, verse 1.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 1. Be not rash with your mouth, and let your heart not be hasty to utter a word before God. For God is in heaven, and you are on earth. Therefore let your words be few. Tamshi?
Yeah, took all the way to 6.
For a dream comes with much concern, and the voice of the fool with many words. When you pronounce a vow to God, do not delay to pay, for he has no pleasure in fools. That which you vow, pay. It is better that you vow not than that you vow and do not pay it. Do not allow your mouth to cause sin to your flesh, and say not before the messenger that it is an error. Why should God be wroth with your voice and destroy the work of your hands?
All right. It says, keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. It said, be more ready to hear when you come into the Most High's house than to give the sacrifice of fools. And that's lip service, you know. Because we do a lot of talking, and sometimes we don't hear what we're saying, what's coming out of our mouth. It said, be not rash with thy mouth, and let thine heart be hasty. Let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything out before God. It said we got to be careful what we say. It says, I'm gonna jump down. It said, better it is that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow a vow and not pay. You don't have to vow.
Yeah, right.
Nobody can make you swear. You know, people come up to you and say, yeah, swear to God. Nah, we just ain't gonna deal with this case or whatever. You know, it make me swear to the Most High, and I might have forgot a portion or added something. You know, just say, take my word for it. Don't make me swear, and they can't make you swear. It says, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Words that come out your mouth can't go back in. It's impossible to take back something that you said. It's impossible for the judge to say, strike that from the records. Jury, disregard that. I heard it. I heard it. It's right in the computer up here. Can't strike it from the records. Yeah. It said, wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the works of thy hands? It said, don't make God angry that he has to do something to you because you uttered stuff out of your mouth. Let's go back.
Numbers chapter 31, verse 1. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, avenge the children of Yisrael of the Midianites. Afterward thou shalt be gathered unto thy people.
All right, hold on. Can't just go past that like that. And Yahuwah spake unto Moshe, saying, avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Afterward shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. That would have been the longest war in the world.
Yeah.
If somebody said, listen, after you finish this war, you die. You going up with your people. You going to sleep with your people. You don't want to finish that war in 2 days. And you know you're getting ready to die. But Moshe, you know, he listened to God. He was a true servant. And he heard it. But for the average person, that would have been a long war. That would have been a long war. Huh? I got to die after this? Huh? Yeah, we had a couple of years. A couple of good years in there. Come sheep.
And Moshe spoke unto the people, saying, arm ye men from among you for the war, that they may go against Midian to execute Yahweh's vengeance on Midian. For every tribe 1,000, throughout all the tribes of Israel, shall ye send to the war. So they were delivered out of the thousands of Yisrael, 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moshe sent them 1,000 of every tribe to the war. Them and Pinchas, Ben Eleazar, the Kohen, to the war, with the holy vessels and the trumpets for the alarm in his hand.
Okay, so now, the Most High, he's sending Moshe, he's telling Moshe to speak unto the children of Israel. So now we're going against the Midianites. Now we got to fight. Sometimes we got to prove our love. Tell my wife that all the time. I seen it in a movie, though. I say every day I got to prove my love. But sometimes we got to prove our love. So God said, listen, arm them for the war. God been fighting for us. He fought the Egyptians for us. He fought a lot of the other wars for us. We just had to sit back and watch the glory of the Most High. But sometimes you have to get out there and you got to put the gloves on. Yep. So we have to be ready for when we got to put the gloves on. You know, the Father got a shield on us right now. He's protecting us. But it may come a time when we have to protect ourselves. We have to defend ourselves. So we must stay ready for that. Come, she.
7. And they warred against Midian as Jehovah commanded Moshe, and they slew every male. And they slew the kings of Midian with the rest of their slain, Evi and Rechem and Sur and Hur and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. Bilam also the son of Beor they slew with the sword.
Okay, now, do we know why we beating up the Midianites?
Yeah.
And Bilam got it too. Because the Midianites wanted to curse us when we was down on the thing, and they called Bilam. God told Bilam, first, don't go. Right. Then Bilam pushed the issue. He kept pushing the issue because the king was going to, Balak was going to hit him off. Balak was going to give him money. So he went back when the other people came and, hey, God, I know you said don't go, but they came back. Can I go? So you're hard-headed. You got a hard head, Bilam. You should have just listened to Most High the first time and just fell back and said, no, God said don't go, I'm not going. That's it. Can I just eat a little pork? No, don't eat the swine. All right, so that's why we going against the Midianites, because they tried to curse us when God said you can't curse or bless people. But as I said, sometimes we got to fight our own wars. Most High could have killed all them off.
Verse 9. And the children of Israel took captive the women of Midian and their little ones, and all their cattle and all their flocks and all their goods they took for a prey. And all the cities and all the places wherein they dwelt, and all the encampments they burnt with fire. And they took all the spoil and all the prey, both man and beast. And they brought the captives and the prey and the spoil to Moshe and to Eleazar the priest, and unto the congregation of the children of Israel, unto the camp of the plains of Moab, which are at the Jordan by Jericho. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest and all the princes of the congregation went forth to meet them without the camp.
Okay, so now Moshe and them went without the camp to meet the people who just came from war. So going without the camp is to examine the people, to check out what y'all got, because you don't want to bring this, wait till they come in the camp, because you might bring a cursed thing into the camp, which is holy, where the Most High dwells. So, like using the bathroom, they said go outside the camp, use the bathroom, bury it, and come back in. So we don't want to bring an unholy thing into a holy place. So we have to also know that when you come into camp and places like that, which you shouldn't have no unholy thing or be unclean, coming into the place where we call upon the name of God. So they had to go outside of the camp just to check them first.
14. And Moshe was wroth with the officers of the host, of the captains of the thousands and the captains of the 100 who came forth from the service of war. And Moshe said unto them, have ye saved all the women alive? Behold, these caused the children of Israel through the counsel of Bilam to revolt, as to break faith with Yahweh in the matter of demons, so that the plague was among the congregation of Yahweh.
Okay, fellas, y'all brought the same thing back that got us cursed out there. Y'all brought the same thing back to us. The same women who danced, who beguiled y'all, and y'all sinned against the Most High. What sense that made? You think they're going to change? You're just bringing a cursed thing into our holy place. So, once again, Moshe was wroth with the children of Israel. Come see.
Now therefore, kill every male amongst the little ones, and kill every woman that have known man by laying with him. But all the women, children that have not known man by laying with him, keep alive for yourselves.
Now you got to kill the baby boys.
Yeah.
Don't sound fair, but the baby boys grow up to be men.
Yeah.
And the men gonna remember what y'all did to our people, to their people. The men is gonna remember that. It's gonna be in the back of the mind. I tell you, you can't disregard certain stuff. You watch them slew your father and your uncle and your big brother. You're a little guy, but that picture plays. You dream that all the time. So you gotta kill them. You can't keep them alive because they're gonna be a sneer unto you. And the women that know man, you killed the husband. You killed my husband. I remember that in the back of my head. I love that guy. I seen him, yeah. You think you're gonna keep me? I'll catch you sleeping. I'll give you some milk, like y'all did. Put that thing right through you. So you gotta kill him. But the women who haven't known man, you know, you can humble them. You shave their heads, pare their nails, and set them aside for a while, and you can humble them. Come see.
And it can't be without the camp 7 days. Whosoever have killed any person, and whosoever have touched any slain, purify yourselves on the 3rd and on the 7th day, ye and your captives. And as every garment, and all that is made of skin, and all the works of goat hairs, and all things made of wool, ye shall purify. And Eleazar the Kohen said unto the men of war that was in the battle, This is the statute of the Lord which Jehovah hath commanded Moshe. Howbeit the gold, the silver, the brass, the iron, and the tin, and the lead, everything that may abide the fire, ye shall make go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with water of sprinkling.
All right. So now, as before, as we read earlier, they sent out the children of Israel, and they sent Pinchas with them. Now, Eleazar, being the head priest, he can't go to the war because you can't get unclean by dead bodies.
Right.
So he had to fall back and wait. And then he said, all of y'all who have killed somebody, or any of y'all got uncleanness, y'all stay without the camp, and y'all get the waters of purification the 3rd day and the 7th day, and then come on back in. And even your captives. Which verse?
We are in the middle of 23.
Come sheet.
And all that abide not the fire, ye shall make to go through water. Verse 24. And you shall wash your clothes on the 7th day, and ye shall be clean. And afterward ye may come into the camp. After
the 7th day, you're allowed back in the camp because you have cleansed yourself. And the things that can be cleansed, the metals and all that, you burn them. The things that can be washed with water, you wash those and cleanse them. Come sheep.
And Yehovah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Take the sum of the prey that was taken, both of man and of beast, you and Eleazar the Kohen, and the heads of the fathers' houses of the congregation, and divide the prey into 2 parts, between the men skilled in war that went out to battle, and all the congregation, and make a tribute unto Yehovah of the men of war that went out to battle, 1 person from 500, both the persons and the beeves, and of the asses and of the flock, take it of their half, and give it unto Eleazar the priest, as a portion set apart for Yehovah.
Okay, this is just the law of dividing. When you go out to war, you have the spoils. When you come back in, you have to divide the spoils. Now, the men of war who fought, they get a portion. The men and the families that stayed back, they get a portion. Well, you're going to say, well, they ain't come out and fight. How they get a portion? But they watched your families. Yeah. They had to hold down the fort.
Right.
You couldn't take all the men, and God didn't need all the men to fight. God was the provider, so he said, just take 1,000 from each tribe. 12,000, that's all. And we have way more than 12,000 men. But just take that right there so I can show my work, like he did with Abraham. Abraham went out with 318 trained men, and he fought against, what, about 4 or 5 kingdoms. So it's not with the multitude when you're with the Most High, because he
Right,
said he never made us the biggest, the strongest, or the most. But with him, we always the majority, as long as we stay right and do that which is right. Where we at?
Verse 30. And of the children of Yisrael's half thou shalt take one of the beeves. Slicha. And out of the children of Yisrael's half thou shalt take one drawn out of every 50 of the people, and of the cows, and of the asses, and of the flocks, even all of the cattle, and give them to the Levites that keep the charge of the tabernacle of Yahweh. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest did as Yahweh commanded Moshe. Now the prey over and above the spoil that the men of war took was 600,000, 70,000, and 5,000 sheep, and threescore and 12,000 cows, and 1,000 asses, and 32,000 people in all. And of the women that had not known man by laying with him, and the half, which was the portion that went to the men of war, was in the number 300,000, and 30,000, and 7,500 sheep. And Yahweh's tribute of the sheep was 615. And the cows were 36,000, of which Yahweh's tribute were 312. And the asses were 30,500, of which Yahweh's tribute were 301. And the person was 16,000, of whom Yahweh's tribute was 32 persons. And Moshe gave the tribute, which was set apart for Yahweh unto Eleazar the priest, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And of the children of Yisrael's half, which Moshe divided off from the men that warred, now the congregation's half was 300,000, and 30,000, and 7,500 sheep, and 36,000 cows.
What verse?
Verse 45.
All right.
And 30,500 asses, and 16,000 people, even of the children of Israel's half. Moshe took one drawn out of every 50, both of man and of beast, and gave them to the sons of Levi that kept the charge of the tabernacle of Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe.
Okay. And as we know, and these, I let them read that because all of this is just the division and what was counted up. And then also at the end of that, it says, and Moshe took a portion from all of that and gave it to the Levites. And we can know why they gave it to the Levites. Because the Levites are the Most High's portion. So they don't do all the work and that, but you have to bring something in to the Levites as commanded. Come.
Verse 48. And the officers that were over the thousands of the host, and the captains, and the officers that were over the thousands of the host, the captains of thousands, and the captains of 100 came near unto Moshe. And they said unto Moshe, Thy servants have taken the sum of the men of war that are under our charge, and there lacks not one of us.
All right. Again, we give all thanks to the Most High, because you don't know about no wars where you go out and they don't have no casualties of war. You don't know, but you don't know no wars where nobody get hurt.
Right.
Everybody's good. So everything is giving thanks to the Most High. Come see.
And we have brought Yahweh's offering, what every man hath gotten, of jewels of gold, armlets and bracelets, signet rings and earrings and girdles, to make atonement for our lives before Yahweh. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest took the gold of them, even all wrought jewels, and all the gold of the gift that they set apart for Yahweh, of the captains of the thousands and the captains of the hundreds, was 16,750 shekels. For the men of war had taken booty every man for himself. And Moshe and Eleazar the priest took the gold of the captains of the thousands and of the hundreds, and brought it into the tent of meeting for a memorial for the children of Israel before Yahweh. Chapter 32.
All right. And again, when you go into the Most High's house, you try not to go in there empty-handed, especially if he has blessed you with so much. You got to take a part of that blessing and put it back into the house of the Most High. And as is always being taught here, we don't need no secondhand stuff into camp.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you just came over you just got your income taxes back, and you're doing great. You bought your house, and now you're gonna take your old TV.
Oh, man.
because you just bought a 52-inch. So you're going to take that old 32-inch and say, I'm going to donate this to the camp. You don't do the camp like that. Don't do the house of the Lord like that. You know what I mean? I mean, you drop a portion off. Look, here, buy a TV.
Right.
But, again, it's written here because we try it. Some of us do it. I'm good.
Chapter 32.
Come shoot.
Now the children of Reuben and the children of Gad had very great multitude of cattle. And when they saw the land of Yazir and the land of Gilead, that behold, the place was a place for cattle, the children of Gad and the children of Reuben came and spoke unto Moshe and Eleazar the priest, and unto the princes of the congregation, saying, Atarot and Dibon, and Yazir, and Nimrah, and Heshbon, and Elileh, and Shebam, and Nebo, and Beon. The land which Jehovah smote before the congregation of Yisrael is a land for cattle, and thy servants have cattle. And they said, If we have found favor in thy sight, let this land be given unto thy servants for possession. Bring us not over the Jordan.
All right. Again, now we beat down the Midianites and the 5 kings, and we looking over the land. So we saying, wow, we got a lot of cattle, and we got herds, we got all of this. So they go to Moshe and say, hey, we want to keep this over here for us and our cattle.
Right.
So come see.
And Moshe said unto the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben, Shall your brethren go forth to war, and shall ye sit here? And wherefore will ye turn away the hearts of the children of Israel from going over this Jordan unto the land which Jehovah hath given them?
Okay, you can't ask for a piece of the pie before the pie is done.
Yeah.
You can't ask for your portion, and we ain't getting no portion yet. We fought to help you get your portion, and you think you're just gonna sit here at home and feed your animals while we go over there on the other side of the Jordan and keep fighting. That don't seem right. Moshe said that don't seem fair, so he objected to that. But he comes she.
Thus did your fathers when I sent them to Kadesh Barnea to see the land. For when they went up to the valley of Eshcol, they saw the land, and they turned away the hearts of the children of Israel, that they could not go into the land which Jehovah had given them. And Jehovah's anger was kindled in that day, and he swore, saying, Surely none of the men that came up out of Egypt from 20 years old and upward shall see the land which I swore to Abraham, unto Yitzchak, and unto Yaakov, because they have not wholly followed me.
There we go. Moshe, the Most High told Moshe, nah, this happened before. Y'all didn't wholly follow me. Y'all did what y'all wanted to do, and I had to kill the elders there. And again, if y'all sit back, and y'all warriors too, and these guys go over there, they're gonna look back and say, man, it might be some drama over here. Half our warriors done stayed over here, or a portion of our warriors, and that turned your heart around. Mm-hmm. I'm fighting right beside Reuben all this time, and we doing our thing. Now Reuben ain't gonna be here. It's gonna turn your heart a little bit. So we say we're gonna have that. Come shoot.
Well, except Caleb, ben Yefuneh, the Kenizzite, and Yehoshua ben Nun, because they wholly followed Yehovah. And Jehovah's anger was kindled against Israel, and he made them to wander to and fro in the wilderness 40 years, until all the generation that had done evil in the sight of Jehovah was consumed. Mm. And behold, you are risen up in your father's stead, a brood of sinful men, to augment yet the fierce anger of Jehovah towards Israel. For if you turn away from after him, he will yet again leave them in the wilderness, and so he will destroy all this people.
Okay, now you just got to bring back to remembrance what happened to your fathers. So you can't do the same thing. We got to remember what your fathers did. I showed them that beautiful land, and they came back and gave a bad report, a messed up report. So now that's not going to happen again. Don't do as your fathers did. So it's just a remembrance there. Come sheep.
And they came near unto him and said, We will build sheepfolds here for our cattle and cities for our little ones, but we ourselves will be ready, armed to go before the children of Israel until we have brought them unto their place, and our little ones shall dwell in the fortified cities because of the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our houses until the children of Israel have inherited every man his inheritance. For we will not inherit with them on the other side of the Jordan and forward, because our inheritance is fallen to us on this side of the Jordan eastward.
Okay. And Reuben and Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh. See, that sounds fair. So we're going to set up our families here, get them in order, get our houses in order, and we come in to fight too. So we're going to make sure everybody get their portion before we sit back and relax. So the men said we're going to get our little ones and our wives together, and they going out. Come shoot.
And Moshe said unto them, if ye will do this thing, if you will arm yourselves to go before Yahweh to war, and every armed man of you will pass over the Jordan before Yahweh until he have driven out his enemies from before him, and the land be subdued before Yahweh, and ye return afterward, then shall ye be clear before Yahweh and before Yisrael, and this land shall be unto you for a possession before Yah. But if you will not do so, behold, you have sinned against Yahweh, and know ye that your sin will find you. Build your cities for your little ones, and folds for your sheep, and do that which proceeds out of your mouth. Okay, again, as I started off with the vows, with the words that come out your mouth, you got to perform it. That's right. And if you don't perform it to the whole, then you got a problem with the Most High. That's right. So what you said out your mouth, you must do. It's just a reminder. Come see. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben spoke to Moshe, saying, thy servants will do as my Lord commands. Only our little ones and our wives and our flocks and our cattle shall be there in the cities of Gilead. But thy servants will pass over every man that is armed for war before Yahweh to the battle, as my Lord saith. So Moshe gave a charge concerning them to Eleazar the priest, and to Yehoshua ben Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the children of Israel. And Moshe said unto them, if the children of God and the children of Reuben will pass with you over the Jordan, every man that is armed to battle before Yahweh, and the land shall be subdued before you, then ye shall give them the land of Gilead for possession. But if they will not pass over with you armed, they shall have possessions among you in the land of Canaan. Okay. Again, Moshe is bringing the conditions, and he's telling it to the high priest and to the heads of the congregations, because this stuff got to be known. Moshe, we want to do stuff in secret back then. We don't have no little secret councils and all that. Let it be known. So just in case something happened to me, y'all know that they got to fight with y'all until everybody get their stuff, and then they can go back over there and live peaceably. Wow. But if they do that not, they're going to be right over here in Canaan land with you. Yep. That's right. Come shoot. 31. And the children of Gad and the children of Reuben answered, saying, as Yahweh hath said unto thy servants, so will we do. We will pass over on before Yahweh into the land of Canaan, and the possession of our inheritance shall remain with us beyond the Jordan. And Moshe gave unto them, even unto the children of Gad, and to the children of Reuben, and unto half of the tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sichon the Amorite, and the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and the land according to the cities thereof, with their borders, even the cities of the land round about. And the children of God built Dibon, and Atarot, and Aroer, and Atarot Sophon, and Yazer, and Yogbecha, and Beit Nimrach, and Beit Haran, fortified cities and folds for their sheep. All right, now, this right here, Moshe is just giving them their portions. Say, go ahead and take care of your stuff, and let's go. Come shoot. And the children of Reuben built Heshbon, and Aliyah, and Kiriatayim, and Nebo, and Baal Meon, and their names being changed, and Sipma, and he gave their names unto the cities which they builded. And the children of Machir, the son of Manasseh, went to Galeed, and he took it, and he dispossessed the Amorites that were therein. And Moshe gave to Gilead, and Moshe gave Gilead unto Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he dwelt therein. And Yair, the son of Manasseh, went and took the villages, and called them Havot Yair. And Nobach went and took Kenach, and the villages thereof, and called it after his own name. Amen. Amen. And the last part is just the possessions which were given to Reuben, to Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh for their portion. And I pray and hope y'all got something out of that. And again, as always said, any mistakes I may have made or any misleadings, it's from me. Amen.
Hallelujah.